Marty, it was stunning to see what the White House and Mr. Bannon has done with the National Security Council. They threw the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff off the council unless they go to the Principals Committee and he gets invited. What does that signal to the legislative branch of the United States of America?
Well, it signals that Steve Bannon is probably the most important person in that White House after Donald Trump. He is going to join that council. He is one of the architects of Donald Trump's victory, and he is solidifying his power on the intelligence side.
Marty, when we see this, and we know the date calendar is Secretary Tillerson wandering in today and more votes, but critically, the Attorney General on Tuesday, with the vote of the Judiciary Committee of some form, how do you expect the legislature and majority Republicans to respond to Jeff Sessions?
Well, I mean, there are still some questions about him, and the immigration orders this weekend will provide another line of questioning, but he will get confirmed. I don't think there's any question that Mr. Sessions will become the next Attorney General, but not without a large amount of contentious debate.
Marty, several federal district courts blocked the implementation of this executive order over the weekend. Does it mean that the legal systems in constitutional defenses work in the United States?
Well, we have to be very clear. The judges stayed any part of the order that would force people who have legal status to leave to be put back on planes. The overall legality of the Trump immigration order has still been maintained by these judges pending a hearing. So the bulk of his order remains in place.
Right. But in terms of checks and balances, do you think they're working in the United States, or is it too soon to tell?
Well, I do think. I mean, we had commentators saying this is exactly how the legal system should work, and in fact did work to maintain the status of those people who had legal status in this country. So I think generally it's working as it's supposed to work. But it will play out in the days and weeks ahead.
Marty, I put out on Twitter my concern and affection for the Secretary of Defense, General Mattis. Elliot Cohen, who's got a little more cred than me, followed up in the Atlantic. That'll be my morning must-read this morning. Marty Schenker, what in God's name does General Mattis do, given President Bannon's efforts?
Well, he is a very independent thinker, and according to Donald Trump, he wants to hear dissent from within his inner circle. So I think you'll hear from him when he thinks something is going wrong. By the way, I do think that the narrative could change quickly. We're hearing reports that the Supreme Court nomination could be moved up as soon as today, which would completely change the narrative about immigration to the Supreme Court. So watch for that.